Gee, Ishmael, off camera, off camera.
Many men wish death upon me, but tonight, bro, you got yours. What are you saying?
Anyway, yes, people, welcome back to Weird and Wonderful. First things first, a very happy new year to everyone tuning in. Hope you all had lovely Christmases. We're back from our little hiatus, little holiday break, but we're back to report on some of the shit that's been going on this weekend. And,
Fuckeries, bro.
but before we kick it off in it, you know what to do. Make sure you like, share, and subscribing, retweeting, all that good stuff. Tell your mum, tell your nan, tell everybody about Weird and Wonderful, because as you know, it is Jamie Vardy's favorite fucking show, and we're back. It is Monday night. It is Monday Night Wonderball, and you are joined by the lovely Ishmael and Wuri from Weird and Wonderful himself, and of course myself. But yeah, Ishmael, tell me what you're saying. You good? How was your weekend?
What an intro, bro. What an intro. We had a beautiful weekend together, man. Lovely new year. Saw it in with all my people. It was great. And then New Year's Day started to feel a bit rough. Then the second comes round. Chelsea game, dead. Your game, dead as well.
Hey, just talk about yourself, bro. That's how you're doing, isn't it?
I'm on this deflecting thing right now. Listen, our game yesterday was like, people are saying the title was done. I'm not really on that just yet. Like, it's gonna be fucking sticky. But it's nearly impossible. But listen,
we'll save the title for later on, innit? Because that's one of the subject matters we're going to be digging into in a bit more detail. But there's nowhere else to start. People, if you're joining now, if you've not caught up in the football, Manchester United, we're playing Wolves this evening. And yeah, Man United look like the same old Man United, to be honest. Lost 1-0 to a João Moutinho strike from outside of the box. A great goal. But the question that sort of left hanging over my head right now is whether 4-2-2-2 is killing United. And it's not to say that we can't play this formation, but for me, where I'm at right now is this formation's not getting the best out of this team. It's not getting the best out of our players. Players are playing out of position. So yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards saying yes. I don't think we're ready to be playing 4-2-2-2 in its current iteration at Man United. What do you think? You saw the game in it before. What were your opinions?
I caught like the last 30-40 minutes, but let me just, before we get into that, I just want to ask you, like, what would it look like if he's already kind of abandoning a formation he's played throughout his career? If I'm not mistaken, Hoffenheim, Leipzig, he went with that. That was his formation. He didn't really deviate from that. How's it gonna look if he comes in now? Was it 4 games in the league? You go, all right, cool. You've like won 2, drawn 1, lost 1. It's been a bit dead. You scored 4 goals in 4 games. No, you scored 3 against Burnley, to be fair. But by and large, it's not really looked too exciting, to be honest. How is it going to look now already if he's already chopping and changing on this? I know he's only interim, so I can say, cool. I remember I said to you a couple of weeks ago, actually, I might have been on Terry's channel, but you lot just got to get top 4. It doesn't really matter how it comes this season. I think to build on for a new manager coming in, you need top 4. Like, that's just, you can't have CR7 have his comeback season. You got Champions League Varane coming in. Like, this team that you put together in the summer, whether or not you had Oli or not, it wasn't built to be in Europa League next season. I think that's kind of something we can both agree on. But he's meant to be coming in to like reshape United's philosophy going forward, give you man a DNA, give you man kind of what we kind of.
Not wanted to give us a DNA, but it was definitely.
When I say DNA, but I mean like modernize it a little bit, because after Alex Ferguson, it's looked a bit. You can say Oli restored it a little bit, but LVG and Jose, they weren't really on the United team too much. That's kind of why their reign were cut short. Ragnick's been brought in to kind of see you lot into like the next, to bring you lot, to modernize you lot a little bit to an extent. You kind of brought him in with his modern philosophy on the game. But if he's a change in that already after 4 games, I don't think that's a good look, bro. I hear what you're saying, but I don't really think that's a good look, especially to the players as well. You're coming in trying to communicate your ideas, and after 4 games, 1 loss, you're ready to like sack it all in already. For me, that doesn't really say. If Klopp came in after 4 games at Liverpool and was like, you know what? No, I'm going to allow the pressing thing. Let's go back to what we were on before. I'll be like, I don't really know if you're that guy like that.
I hear that point, but I don't think for me, Ragnick is just 4-2-2-2. I feel like he's got a lot. Like I know he's like that's the formation that he's kind of come up on, where he sort of brought it through in Leipzig, Hoffenheim, Salzburg, across the Red Bull Group. But for me, what I wanted to see with Ralph is more the style of play. It was more about pressing for me than a formation. And I've not seen us press since that first game. Since that first game against Crystal Palace, I haven't seen us press at all with any intensity. If anything, we've been pressed off.
You can argue that Palace game, you're always going to press. Let's not get it twisted. You weren't really pressing the whole of that Palace game. It was more like the first.
Yeah, but that's the most. That's all we've. That's what
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Can you put that down to? Can you put that down to the pressing or just new manager bounce first game, Old Trafford pumping like that was the first game under Ollie in it. Like under the official new reign. It was just a vibes thing, innit? Fred's scoring a banger with his right foot. Like, like it was all looking a bit like that's not the way forward kind of thing. Do you see what I mean?
No, since then, like you said. I disagree. I think for me, that first game.
Did you think, boom, this is it? This is what we're going to see?
It's like the first to be able to do it in the first game, but not being able to do it in any of the other games when you've had training sessions under your belt is surprising for me. I don't think it's just like, first game you suddenly get it and then you lose it. I was disappointed in the fact that we've not been able to build on that first game at all. In terms of pressing,
you had the 2 week break. You had the 2 week break, which we don't know.
I want a break.
We'll never know, but we'll never know really how much because you weren't allowed to train on the pitch in it. We'll never know how much you can really convey on a whiteboard. Like you don't really.
I think that's a big part of the reason why we've not been playing well.
I can't believe I'm giving United excuses, but I feel like that's a hard. It's a bit of a harsh one, isn't it?
We need the intensity of playing week in week out and training. I feel like right now it looked like we look slow, sluggish, like we're easing our way back into the season when we haven't really got time to be doing that.
That's true. You can say that again, bro.
But yeah,
what did you think of? What did you think of that? What did you think of tonight's game itself? Like. Obviously, made a few changes. Phil Jones. Like first, Phil Jones. What are you saying on his performance tonight? First game in like flipping 19,000 days or whatever.
Man of the match. I'm giving
on the losing side.
Not from the whole game, but I'm saying the Man United's man of the match. He was definitely our man of the match. By far and away, like I was surprised and I was really impressed by Phil Jones, isn't it?
Fam, you know why he had to pattern up. You know, I had to pattern up. He refused to give Varane his shirt number, and his man's playing next to him tonight. He said, "Listen, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I ain't going there anywhere just yet."
He suits this kind of football. Like from what I can remember with Phil Jones as the player in it, like it's been so long. It's been like 700 something days they said. But like for me, Phil Jones, he's a bit more of like a front foot, like. He'll get in your face sort of defender. I think he could suit this Ralph Rangnick style of play. And we looked defensively, we were under a lot of pressure, but defensively we looked decent. David De Gea.
I saw they had like 18. How many corners did they have? Like 18 corners or some shit.
So many. It was like 8-0 at one point, and I was just like.
But when I tuned in, it was 8-0. I was like, "Raw, what's been going on?" You man, because it didn't even seem like you lot were getting like particularly like pinned back or anything, but.
No, it wasn't like that. It was just they just looked threatening on the counter, and if anything, we looked slow. Like my issue with with Scott McTominay is, I was saying this to you the other day, like he will put in a really good performance, and he will live off that for so long. Like today, he would just literally look like he had zero imagination.
Hey, I see he tried to do one volley, and the way he spun around and air kicked it, I was like, bro, like this is the McSauce I'm used to seeing. Man, like McMayonnaise.
That technique's not for everyone, isn't it? That technique's not for everyone.
You can't not under the Old Trafford lights. He man's going for big volleys and that, like he's 4 scores. Like let's not get too carried away now. But
in terms of the first half performance, I think we didn't look potent in attack. Like I said, David De Gea and Jones are our best players in that first half, and that's saying something. There was zero press. There was no pressing whatsoever. Like I said, Crystal Palace the most amount of pressing we've seen. The only press I saw today was the pressing around United, like around Old Trafford. That's what I was getting. I was getting deep pressed. I wasn't seeing.
Oh my god!
Getting deep pressed. And then that McTominay, his performances are too inconsistent. I don't know why he always seems to manage to whatever manager comes in, he just gets the trust of them. He just has such a lack of imagination, and like his performances are just too up and down to be a Man United starting centre mid. He could be a good person to come off the bench, but the fact that he had that first half and he stayed on the pitch for the full 90, what concerns me a lot. It concerns me a lot because I think Scott
the subs
McTominay
were a bit funny in my opinion. I know I saw on Twitter that people weren't too happy about Greenwood coming off. I think you texted saying it should have been Cavani, innit?
So it was meant to be Cavani. I think his number was on the board, and then I think it was a breaker play, and then suddenly that gets changed, and Greenwood comes off. He was looking like our best player, our most potent attacker, and I was excited because I thought Cavani comes off, Greenwood gets pushed up front, Bruno will play in the number 10, and like Greenwood looked so good down the middle. Like whenever he came off the flank and started running down the middle of the pitch, he looked like an absolute he looked like he was going to cause them so much problems. But yeah, man, I think 4-2-2 is what 4-2-2 is what I'm coming back to in terms of a formation and the way we're setting up our team. I think the first half we didn't see Scott McTominay or Matic protect the defense and all. I think we were looking to sort of bypass the midfield a bit too much, and we'd see Scott McTominay making runs past the Wolves midfield, and we'd lose the ball, and then we'd be opened up again.
You know what, Matic as well on his own on that Old Trafford pitch on his runs in the midfield. That's not a situation I'm trying to see if I'm a Man United fan. Like, you need a midfielder in it. You need a central midfielder more than like anything right now. That's it's not the answer to your problems, because I think there's definitely other areas you can improve as well. I'm a big advocate for you not getting a new right back. I think that's essential. But
right
central
back,
midfield is the starting block.
Right back, I think there's we'll talk about this. We'll do our January window special in it. But in terms of right backs, I think we've got a solution already at Old Trafford for not Old Trafford right now, but we've got a solution that I'd love to see get some game time. But yeah, do you know what? I've got to give props, like large up Bruno in it, because he was
Bruno who?
Bruno Lage.
Oh, I thought you said Fernandez. I'm like, bro, we need to talk about that miss, fam.
Bruno. I think Wolves caused us problems, man. They caused us a lot of problems. They look good. They got the second best. Was it one? They got one of the best.
They conceded 14 in it, 14 goals,
which is incredible. Which is insane. They're just obviously not scoring enough. Was really impressed with Neves and Moutinho all game. I think they just bossed the pit. Like, how many matches are we going to play where our midfield is by far and away,
bro, get a move to, fam. Always getting moved to.
We played against Newcastle, Burnley, Crystal Palace.
You're not making Shelby look like
Newcastle, Burnley, Crystal Palace, and obviously today against Wolves. And every match we've played in, this is the first team we played in the top 10. Every match we played in, our midfielders let us down time and time again.
To be fair, bar Newcastle, because their midfield is a bit stiff. But all the other teams have got decent midfielders. Like they shouldn't be better than Man United midfielders, granted. But Palace's midfielder is decent. Moutinho and Neves, they'll get into a couple teams in the top 6. Like, don't get it twisted. Neves is serious. I think, has he even signed a contract yet? Because there was talks of him going to.
No. I was thinking he looked like he's auditioning tonight. He looked like he was auditioning for.
Bro, man's got the Alice band in his hair. Like he can do a little thing out there. Like he's a very serious player. Like if you had him in there and like a Pogba, I don't know if he's staying on going, but for me, that midfield is flames. Like,
let's not get into Pogba right now, innit? Man. I think in general, I think 4-2-2 causes us issues because we get I think we need Bruno in that number 10 position. I don't want to have two. I'm not sure. I think there's two number 10. It might be something for Champions League or something to mix it up with, but I think we need to find a solution.
Not with their combined age of like 70 as well.
Is a bit more decisive with the players that he plays out with. I'd rather see Sancho and Rashford out there, but then where'd you get Bruno? I'd rather see.
I just want to say something just quickly, actually.
Ronaldo, innit? But I know you want to talk about Bruno. Go on.
No, not even. I think for I'll try and wrap this little section up before we get onto the other game. But do you think Bruno could be an option as one of the two up front?
Yeah,
because he can press from the front.
But isn't that a 4-2-3-1?
No, because he can play. You can play him high, out possession. He can be like a 4-2. He can be a 4-4-2 or whatever. Because he likes to press, innit? He likes to press.
I want to see him like behind a Ronaldo or a Cavani.
Whichever way you want to. Because I think in one of the two cam rolls, I don't think he's it at all. I think you want to try and get one of your.
You want him centrally.
You want him central, and you want him. I'm sorry, like the way he plays, the way he like gives the ball away, and that you want him closer to goal in it. You don't want him doing Hollywood balls from like the 8 position and giving it back. Like,
he puts us under pressure.
He just forces it too much. He forces it too much. But yeah, that miss,
it's just
that miss. He's got blood on his hands for that, man. You got to be. We saw Mane miss against Leicester, Martinelli against City. That's in that little category of that miss kind of cost you man the game. But listen, we know both our views on Bruno in it. We won't speak on that too much. I think he's not having a good season at all.
Form, really, he's in really bad. He's in really bad form. And when you're in bad form, you've got to do the basics right. And I don't think he's doing that at all at the moment.
That's like he's never really done, but he got away with it because man was just too clutch. So you can live with him giving the ball away if he's going to get you a brace and an assist. Like
exactly. But he's just not been doing it enough recently.
Goals are dried up. Ronaldo's kind of eating some of his like clutchiness. I think on the pitch at one time, there's only a certain amount of clutchness that can go about at once. Ronaldo's kind of got the juice right now when he's on the pitch. They can't both eat at the same time. There's only one hero that can really be about. But listen, you man, you're in the mud. It's the start of the new year. You're out of the top 6, let alone the top 4 right now. You lot got to get active in Jan. I think that's a given pretty much. But
yeah, make sure people are tuning into our January window special. We do
yes, I've got.
We go into our the players that we'd like to sign.
Listen, let me just tell you now, my section might be quite short because I don't think I've never FSG are going to be on anything. But I guess that's quite a good segue onto onto yesterday's game. I guess onto the game on UK as well. What's going on?
Hey, bro.
You're a dickhead.
Mafia. What's this title challenge saying then?
Okay, with the equalizer. Okay. It ain't over, bro. As I said at the top of the show, it's not over yet. But yesterday was peak. Yesterday was basically that was basically an L. Like,
it's done, bro. It's done.
Fabinho,
it's better to be a realist rather than an idealist because they protect yourself.
Never that. They sing it's the hope like kills you, but I'm willing to die for this team. I'm willing to ride out for them, but they're not giving me much to ride out to at the moment. But listen, there's a few. Before we get into there's a few players who had absolute shockers. They need some.
Name and shame them
on their name.
Name and shame them.
Jordan Henderson at the moment he started the season on flames, on absolute flames.
What, your captain?
Assist against. I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. Yeah, like these last 2 games, man is doing a hoofball. I might have to start calling him Hooferson. Like I don't know what is going on with him recently. Like, man's just every time he gets the ball wants to do first time pass. I don't know what. I think he's got drunk at the source of that assist against United at Old Trafford. But listen, what I'm seeing at the moment, it ain't it. Fabinho yesterday as well, bro. Flacco was looking like. Like, I don't know, bro. Flacco by name, Flacco by nature. He was just getting moved to in there by Kante. Listen, big up Kovacic because like first of all the goal, second of all he just put up at midfield Barkley's like masterclass. But bro, I don't know what's going on with us at the moment, man. Like that game yesterday, obviously we had no Klopp on a touchline, no Thiago.
You had a sideshow, bro. You had sideshow Pep doing up fucking
and like Pep Linders.
Yeah, you can't act like it. That was basically Klopp on the side, bro.
Nah, that's not the same. It's not the same.
It's
not the same. But listen, like, is the title race over? I'm personally, I can't really be a football fan and say like stuff's over before. Like, you gotta be real to an extent. I'm not saying like, yeah, it's on, we're gonna do it. But listen, it can happen. It can happen until it's like done.
EastEnders team.
If it gets to like 18, 19 points, then I'm like, yo, like there's like. But what I will say is now is that Klopp cannot do fuckeries in the cup competitions. I don't want to see no like dead out team against Arsenal on Thursday in the semi-final, even though we've got pure players missing. But I'm not trying to see no kids out there if they don't have to. Like, I really think we should be taking that seriously. And Champions League as well.
Not like the Leicester match.
No, yeah, the Leicester match was a bit of a piss take. The way we got through that was just on pure like Anfield vibes. Like, if we're being realistic, like the Leicester fans were singing some mad songs about us. Our fans got more rattled and like got more behind the team. The crowd kind of took us through like the last 20 minutes or so. Like, but Like that kind of stuff can happen on a cup night at Anfield. I'm trying to see more of that this season. I'm not trying to see no Aston Villa side that we put out like a few years ago when we had the Club World Cup. Like we should really be on this cup thing this year. But listen, the title race, I don't know, man. City are moving mad right now, but they can't just win the rest of the games until the end of the season. Like, surely, like, please tell me. I beg you, tell me.
Rather than expectation, bro, because this City team look like they're never.
Someone's got to beat them. I swear down. Like, they haven't even got. I think it's only Mahrez going to AFCON. They've had no COVID cases. Like. You see, when that season, you used to say that we had no injuries. This is they're replicating that right now, and I don't know if it's because you buy your own luck by being the best team.
So many players, bro. Bro, like, getting a game.
There's not even through injury either. Man just got his bench is just it's just a madness. It's all mad. But listen, they've got to slip up.
How many points are you behind them now,
bro? I don't. It's like 11, but we've got a game in hand.
11, well, double figures here.
But we've got a game in hand in it. Until we play that game in hand, I've got to be on a kind of like it's 7. Yeah, bro.
You've seen City dropping 9 points for you to catch up.
We've got to go to the Etihad.
You can't lose.
So that's that.
Yeah, fair.
It's like listen. They're playing Chelsea. I think next week. Chelsea yesterday. I think that's the best. That's the Chelsea fans. A lot of them are saying that's the best they've seen them play all season.
Really impressed with Chelsea, man. We got to spend some time on them as well because that was
trust. They played well, but listen, our midfield, the way they were moving yesterday, like. I don't know if that's through Chelsea's brilliance, but we were getting bopped. Like it was mad. It was all mad. But I don't know, man. That time,
I think from about Liverpool performance as well, because so my interpretation is I think Liverpool you always look good in transition. Like quick passes, that's where you look most dangerous. When you're playing the ball around your back four. Used to be. I remember those goals used to score. And it was like 30, 40 passes, and you're just picking it around the back four. No one can get the touch.
Bro, it's the midfield, man. It's the midfield. It's the midfield.
I guess so. But I just thought that in defense, you guys weren't moving the ball forward as much as you should, and it looked like Chelsea or Tuchel, should I say, had Klopp and Pep's number tactically.
Their press was lit. I can't like their press was very good yesterday. But you got to remember as well, like even though I rate Tsimikas highly, I rate Konate very highly. Though the Pulisic's goal, Konate had a flipping stinker. I don't care.
What about Van Dijk? In that play.
Yeah, and Henderson. There's a couple culprits, but first things first, I don't want to hear anything. Konate is 6'4", Kante is 5'6". Clear his fucking ass on the floor. If you can't get the ball, just make sure he's not getting past you. Like I can't see Kante win a 50-50 with Konate. Like I can't see that in the world. That's like flipping Rey Mysterio beating the Big Show. Like you shouldn't be seeing that.
It happened.
Bro, exactly. You shouldn't be seeing it. You shouldn't be seeing it. Like that's what I'm trying to say. But listen, Van Dijk as well. Managers, I'm hearing like. People are saying that he's just trying to keep his hair intact at the moment. He's just doing the jockey thing. He's not even on like tackling anymore. I need to see him put his foot in a little bit. I need to see him put in his foot because the hair's the Jericho's looking too crisp after the game. I need to see a bit more mud on man's shorts. Like it's
true.
Remember, we've been consistent on this channel the whole season. We both said, listen, Matip is the one this season who has been our best centre back. Let's not have like because Van Dijk's back and I rate him for coming back from his injury, like big up to him. But if you watch us play for any period of time this season, apart from like the Brentford game, Matip's been our better defender every single game pretty much. So he was a big miss yesterday as well. But bro, I didn't really like what I saw, if I'm being honest. And obviously now AFCON, so we got no Keita, no Salah, no Mane for the next 2 games in the league and then like cup games as well. So it's good. It's peak, bro.
If you can keep the gap to 11 points, you man done well.
And the only thing is that the games are Brentford and Palace. The Palace game is going to be tough.
You've got no Mane or Salah. You can't even just be like, Jota can play instead.
Bro, the worst thing is Jota looked dead yesterday as well. I'm a bit concerned about him when he's not scoring. There's a few allegations to be able to get him for his like ball retention abilities. Like I think we need to get Bobby back into the team, but Bobby's got COVID in it, so I don't even know when he's going to be back. Alice has got.
You ain't got any of your front three.
Nah, bro, and I think Origi's injured. They've not really been saying anything about his injury, so I don't know if his man's either getting sold or the injury is worse than
Come on, we need to free Divock, bro. Free Divock.
Minamino's injured too. Like, our front three is going to be looking like Ox, false 9, Jota on the left, and like flipping. Bro, I don't even know what front.
I'm kind of here for Ox, false 9. I think he could be all right.
Bro, get the man. I'm not trying to see him in our squad next year. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful because he's done like, when I say he's done bits, he hasn't done bits. He's done stuff. Like, he's done bits for our club. But if we want to level up, I shouldn't be seeing him in my squad next year. Same for Milner, bro. I love this guy. Like, I love him like an uncle, but we got to keep it stepping. I'm not trying to see him still.
Final word before we go on to someone else who shouldn't be at our club.
Yeah, it's the title race over. No, I can't. As a fan, I can't say that yet. I can't say that it's over in Jan. Like, I'm not me.
But is that image of Henderson picking up another Premier League title?
The little shuffle thing.
Is it slowly?
I'm put it this way. My eye now is more on cups. Like, I'm trying to see what's happening in the Champions League. We've got Inter coming up, but in the league, you need to keep a level in it. You can't just turn it on for one thing and not another. But keep it respectable. Don't let it get to 18, 19 points. Like, I'm not trying to.
You got to do Man United from last season. Keep it like, just, you know what I mean? Like,
bro, keep 12 points. Was it like 15 points in it?
No, it was. I think it was like 10 or 11.
I ain't sure about that. We're gonna have to check that one back. But yeah, listen, let's get on to, like you said, another player who was kind of, his name was talked about a lot during the game yesterday, but he weren't even, bro. Was he even in the stadium? Like, where was he? Man was like chilling in his crib.
I think he was playing basketball.
Some use. But yeah.
Pick up basketball.
Fucking hell, man.
You know, he's the sort of guy to call football soccer, you know. You know what I mean?
In the changing room, even Pulis.
Come on, this is soccer. It's an easy game. It's soccer, guys.
This guy, man. I bet you're in real I told you so hours right now. Right, you're got a little right smile on your face and that.
I want you to answer this question because I think, first of all, before you answer this question, I would love to understand in your head what were Chelsea signing when like in your own personal opinion, when the summer transfer window slammed shut and Chelsea announced they'd signed Lukaku for £97.5 million, £97.5 million. What was in your head? Did you think Chelsea have just signed one of the best strikers in the world? This can only go one way. Drogba 2.0. Like, where was your head at, and like, where is it now?
Fam, perception is key in anything. Yeah, like. I actually watched quite a few Inter games. I think I watched quite a few Inter games with you last season and Tobbs as well. Big up Tobbs. Watch their European run. Watch them like watch a lot of their games pretty much. I got lost in the sauce on it. I saw Lukaku badding up defenses for 2 seasons. MVP in the league last year, league title winners, and I saw improvements in his game. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that he was just dead last season. I did see improvements in his game. His link up with Latour, I was like, yo, this is like Lukaku's leveled up a little bit. Euros comes around. He's a bit meaty in the Euros, but I think he still bags like 3 goals. 4 goals. Yeah. But I can't, even in the Euros, I was a bit like, this is not really what I was seeing during the season. But you can say there's a lot of things. Belgium didn't really turn up. Like, De Bruyne didn't really do well. Hazard, I don't even know if Hazard was really playing. But listen, you can put it down to the team. So when Chelsea signed him, this is what I'm saying about perception. The whole thing last year was that, yeah, cool, they won the Champions League, but Werner was on a mad run. A striker will be the final piece to kind of propel them to the next. That's what Chelsea fans are saying. 2 players in every position, best squad in the league. Now I'm hearing different stories. Chilwell's out, James is out. But hang on, you man told me best squad in the league 1 to 23. So if 2 men are injured, you know what I'm trying to say.
You mean I'm playing 5 at the back as well? You could easily do that.
Exactly. Drop a defender. Like, is it by force you got to play 5 at the back every week? But I said, yo, Lukaku's coming in. This is going to be the guy. He's just off the back of a 20-odd goal season. It made sense. It made sense, innit? On paper, which we know football's not played on paper. You were telling me consistently, nah, Lukaku, I know what this man will do in the Prem. He'll stink the place out. Like, don't believe the hype kind of thing. Fast forward a few months, he's in and out of the team. 3 weeks ago, man drops his own pipe bomb. Shout out to CM Punk. Man dropped all their dirty laundry out in public and said, "I'm not happy with the coach's tactics."
Well, man was sat cross-legged in the middle of Stamford Bridge.
Do I have your attention now? You see, he used to wear the white tape with the cross on it.
Yeah, with the cross on it. Straight edge.
Is that Wakanda's now? Nah, CM Punk, man. He's an idiot. Like, let's not get it twisted. He's an idiot for that. Like, whether it was 3 weeks ago,
was gonna get out of doing
like,
that.
He's dumb. He's dumb. I'll put it in his terms. He's a doofus, fam. He's a doofus, a douchebag. He's all of them things. Like, he's an idiot. I don't know what's wrong with this guy, man. Like, I think we was chatting the other day. We were saying, I think it might have been like over New Year's, innit? I was like, Lukaku's clearly quite insecure in it. Like, if you really don't care about stuff and you really just on this, like, I'm on crud the whole time, Rock Nation vibes, like, yo, I'm friends with Jay-Z. Shut your mouth, bro. You don't need to talk like that much all the time. Like, he does too much, always. He always does too much. And I just think he weren't really ready for the grind. Like, you weren't in the team. First of all, you had COVID, then you got injured, or vice versa. Then you weren't really in the team. Bro, just get your head down. Like, you've only been there 3 months. Who are you to be rocking a boat already? Like,
that's what I mean. That's what it's just so early in this season.
It's mad.
If he did that a month ago, that's what, November, maybe end of November. Bro, that's what, August, September, October. We've had just over 4 months at Chelsea, and a lot of that's been injured. And you're criticizing a formation and a style of play that just won them the Champions League. Like, what? Like, who are you?
Who are you, fam?
You should be coming in and saying we're playing. I'm not sure about the formation. Like, listen, look, with Lukaku, my thing's never been that he couldn't score goals, or that he's not got good qualities. He's not a good striker.
Also, we both like him as well. Like, he's a cool guy, but he just sometimes he just gets a bit mad. You got a comment coming in now. Well, yeah, go and say what you're saying, bro.
Yeah, I got time. I got Nigerian English, man. You got shorter comments next time. It's just before we jump into that comment,
big up yourself, though, bro. Big up yourself. Happy New Year, bro.
Every time. But the thing is with me and Lukaku, wasn't that he wasn't a good player, wasn't that he wasn't a good striker, wasn't that he wouldn't score goals. It's the way, it's the style of playing, but that caveated with the Premier League. I think in Italy he could bad up defenders. He could have them on the touch on the halfway line, and they're literally praying to Mamma Mia, like doing all these, like, bro. I got, like, no one's stopping him in that position. We saw it against who was it against Aston Villa.
Matt Target. We didn't do screaming houses that week, but Matt Target, fam. I think you're still eating grass, fam. Like, what the hell was that?
Bro, my man just grew another appendix so he could digest that shit, bro. Anyway, like with Lukaku,
that was a myth.
It's always been that I don't think stylistically or technically
he's grass in front of him.
He's good enough to be playing back to goal for Chelsea. You've got to be playing. If anything, he suits a team that's always going to counter. Who's going to be countering? Like, that's why he suited that Inter team.
Just to play devil's advocate here, then, because for him to be saying he's not happy with the tactics, like, do you think there was a conversation when they signed him and they're like, "Yo, man, like, we're gonna play you like." They're going to do this formation where that's going to accommodate him a bit more. Because I feel like it's a bit mad for him to just say, I don't like these tactics. Either you didn't know what tactics they played before, or they told you, we're going to build a team around you. Or, like, because for me, Chelsea are playing the same as they did last year, just with him up front. I'm not really seeing too many differences.
From that, what I gathered from it, is that he doesn't want to be playing or occupying those false nine positions, which I think ultimately is a smart decision, isn't it? I don't think he should be playing. Let's just read this comment out. Nigerian Englishman is Tuchel is stupid. How do you pay like £100 million for a player you don't play to his strengths? Let's be real. He too should have known that. Should have known that from the talk with Tuchel. Surely that's why he's rebelling now. Look, I think. He knew, like, Tuchel's not going to go change his. I don't think he's going to change the system like that just for one player. Like, Lukaku's obviously he's a top player and he demands a lot of respect. But for Tuchel for him to be coming in and Tuchel change his whole style of play that's just won them the Champions League, I think that's a bit of a stretch for me. I think Lukaku's got to come in and he's got to be able to adapt. He's not like an old he's not an old man. He's in his prime right now. So I think for me, I was disappointed. I've been disappointed.
Also, he's not Messi as well. He's not like a player you can be like, you're so good, you do what the fuck you want. That's it. Like he's Lukaku in it. He should kind of know his role and shut his mouth a little bit. Like it's not really for him to be coming out. For me, I think there's a few things he did which are like just unacceptable. You shouldn't just not tell the club you're going to be doing interviews like that and just go and do it with Sky Italia as well. That's what you're doing there. You're twerking. You're twerking. B, you don't really talk about leaving to go to another club, especially if you've just signed. Man saying he wants to go back to Inter in the prime of his career.
While he's still good.
How old is he? 28, 29. So that means you want to bounce in the next 2-3 years. Like Lukaku's he's not got the skill set to be playing into his late 30s.
He can in Italy. Like, he can.
But I'm saying in do you reckon? I don't
100% he can still do it, bro. Look at the likes of just look at the likes of
still doing bits as well.
Zlatan. Yeah. It's the one league where you can go a bit past your peak. Like look at Ronaldo. Ronaldo went there when he was 33, he was fucking winning Scudetto after Scudetto. Like, but before I just want to go back to this comment from Nigerian Englishman. Then 4-2-2 gang, Klopp and Tuchel set you Man U fans up, Moses. Man got sucked in by that Godfather talk. Bielsa is Poch and Klopp Godfather. Look where they are, Man U back though. Just to respond to that comment quickly. Yeah, man. To be honest, I've been disappointed in the rate of progression at United. I thought it would be after that Crystal Palace match. I thought it was only going to get better.
Dad, you know, man, Tommy Klopp's dad to my face.
But look, I'm not. Look, this is ultimately this is like you Arsenal fans are fully aware. It is a process, isn't it? Like you don't go from Ollie ball to Ralph ball or to pressing all like overnight. And I think we've had our progression stunted a little bit, but no, I do hear that, and it's going to be a longer road than I thought it would be. And yeah, this could get sticky this season. We're in a proper top 4 battle now, isn't it? So yeah, man.
Speaking of, go on, read out the last question.
It's a 100 million player. You have 2 or don't sign Lukaku. Yeah, man, I hear that 100%. I would never have signed Lukaku. I never would have signed him. Then man, we're going for Haaland and then signed Lukaku instead and spent 97.5 million. For me, you don't like.
They got bumps.
You just don't sign Lukaku. He's shown in the Premier League already. He can score goals, but he'll frustrate the hell out of you. And I'm not going to sit back at the end of the season. He scored 28 goals and be like, he's a shit player. Because obviously he's got 28 goals. But how am I still feeling like at the end of the season?
Bro, he's got 5. He's got 4 or 5 league goals. Listen, if Tammy outscores, Tammy's already ahead of him in goals scored. If Tammy outscores him this season, they're gonna look like fools. Like I never really was on a Tammy train like that too tough. But Lukaku's not pulling up trees at all. Really, like it's not like Lukaku coming and got, like you said, 28 goals. And he's not going to like.
He was in good form. He's been in good form since that. Obviously, the last 2 games he scored 2 goals. Like he was getting back, and then this bombshell got dropped.
The timing is fucking peak, man.
That's like Raiola levels of timing. Like like that's coming straight from the horse's mouth as well. So I want to see the same. I want to see the same energy people had for Pogba, for Lukaku, in it. And when Raiola was coming out, Pogba never came out and did this once. He never came out and did this once.
Man did it on camera, not even comments. Like he can say it was man went with his big self, filmed Sky Italia. Like it's mad. I if I'm a Chelsea fan, it's easy to be like quite reactionary in the heat of the moment and be like, I don't want him to play for us again. But I'm not really looking at the guy the same way. For me, that's not a player he's not really about this life. If he's going to do that after, like we said, like 4 months, like it's not really the one at all.
Especially after such a big transfer. And all that twerking he did was like, I'm home. Like Chelsea's the only club I would have gone to. And then he's coming out being like, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich are the only 3 like real top teams. Those are the only teams I would have left Inter for. Oh, but then they wouldn't give me a contract, so I went Chelsea. Like that's
even said City tried to sign. He said City were trying to sign him as well. He said they offered more money.
You don't need to
man, he's a snake. He's a snake. You can't be doing that.
But yeah,
that's actually madness. That's a madness.
Moving from one team that has a striker to one team that needs a striker, potentially moving forward. That was a bit of a shit segue. Apologies, but I'm talking about Arsenal, resurgent Arsenal. Before we jump in, I've got to give a lot of props to that performance I saw against Man City. I was in disbelief about what I was seeing. I thought I was going to tune in, watch that game, and Arsenal get a nice little slap in, little 4-5-0 again. But I think they heard your comments, Ishmael. I think they heard your comments and gassed themselves up.
Bro, it was insight. It was insight until 2 bozo moments. From a reliable source of bozoness. The other one, normally you can trust him a bit more. I rate him highly, to be fair. But listen, Xhaka, man. Xhaka doing Xhaka things. Like Arsenal, for me, first half were playing well, man. They scored a great goal.
They looked scared. I mean, yeah, they looked
in the game. It looked like two teams who were kind of going toe to toe. Like we've not really seen that.
Arsenal going toe to toe with Man City.
Exactly. No one was expecting to see that, really, if we're being completely honest. And then, yeah, decisive. I'd say 3 decisive moments in that. Obviously, Xhaka doing Xhaka things. First of all, tripping up Bernardo, and then I think putting them back as well. Like man was really trying to make sure the penalty was going to get conceded. And then Martinelli goes up later on in the game, arguably from an open goal. Well, he should definitely score that. Should 100% be scoring that. Edison's not even in the picture. I think he clipped it outside of the post, if I'm not mistaken. And then less than 5 seconds later, we didn't even catch it initially in the original shot. That's how quick it was. Ball goes up the other end, City counter on the halfway line, and then Gabriel, I don't know what man's doing. Jesus is, like we said, on the halfway line, got the whole half of the pitch to go down. Man just clears them out. It's on a yellow already. Second yellow card, red card. That's it. Game's done. From then on, you kind of knew. I think it was 1-1 when that happened. You kind of knew from then the game's not really gonna go any other way. I think a City winner was we all kind of saw it coming. To be fair, but bro, what are you saying on that? Even though he wasn't there at the game, he's obviously out of COVID at the moment. Does Arteta deserve a contract extension? There's been talks at the moment. He's got 18 months left. Do you think he's done enough? I know you're not really there with Arsenal yet.
No, do you know what? It's more that it's less to do with Arteta and more to do with Arsenal as an institution and as a club and what I've seen the last 15, 16, 17 years or something like that, where they've shown moments throughout a season. They always do this. Always show moments throughout a season of being a top club, and then suddenly there's moments. It's kind of like what Man United have been like as well. We've been, if anything, two kindred spirits, former greats, just struggling for a bit of identity now.
Remember the old days.
Similar with Arsenal, innit? And the reason why I'm skeptical about Arsenal is less about the ability in their first 11. It's more that some of the players, like we say, the Xhakas in that team that will ultimately hold this team back. I think Lokonga looked good, but ultimately in these games, I don't see Lokonga starting next to Partey and Arsenal getting a result. I think Xhaka is ultimately there, is going to be the go-to midfield partner for Partey in these matches. I also think Gabriel showed a lot of rashness in that. Like you say, he's on the halfway line. Jesus got his back to goal. To be doing that is a bit.
To be fair, Gabriel, I would say he's their best centre back at Arsenal.
This isn't a critique of.
But I hear what you're saying. In those moments, in those big games,
there's players that will ultimately. There's just a bit of a lack of organisation, a lack of leadership. I do think they've looked better about Aubameyang, and we called it literally just before the game. Does Aubameyang need to be dropped? And he ultimately got dropped, and the captaincy got taken away as well. So, maybe Arteta's getting it right. I think this Arsenal team is definitely moving in the right direction. Got to give them credit, because that was a top performance. It's one of them performances, even though you don't get 3 points, even though you don't get any points from the game, you're coming away from it feeling like that. I was like, that's just off, bro. That's off key. But no, I think Arteta, I don't know how long he's got in his contract left, but I'll give him till the end of the season. Then
he's got 18 months. 18 months left.
To the end of the season, see where they finish. If they get top 4, I think give him another contract. If they don't, then it's up. It's not really my business to be saying Arteta out, but I'll leave that down to Troops and them, man, innit?
Top 6 though, I think from what were they last season, 8th. This league ain't easy, man. This is not an easy league. Spurs, I think, are gonna be causing problems second half of the season. Even I'm reading that apparently Daniel Levy has already told Conte that the funds I said were there. They might not be there as much this window. So I don't know what's gonna happen on that one. That could be sticky. But I'm hearing, we'll talk about that on our obviously on our transfer special. But I'm hearing some whispers of a Harry Kane, Lukaku swap deal. For me, that's a bit mad. I think. Yeah, that's a bit mad, but that might be.
There's a merry-go-round. There's a merry-go-round I see happening that could potentially happen from that. I cannot. Just knowing the rivalry between those two clubs, Chelsea and Tottenham, I don't see them swapping their number 9s. That's just straight up. I can't see that. Harry Kane going to Chelsea, Lukaku going to. I can see. We'll save this, innit? But I think something happening there. But I don't see those two making a direct swap per se. But now look, just going back to the question, I think Arteta deserves a lot of credit. He's been firm, even when his teams have been doing quite poorly. He's been firm in his convictions. I think he's showing promise. But like I say, like it gets misconstrued sometimes for being like Arsenal are dead or whatever. But I just need to see this over a whole season with Arsenal. Like, I mean, I'm not going to turn into you, Ishmael, basically. I'm not going to be like, Arsenal are back, and then.
Listen, I was trying to manifest that win, bro. That if they won that game, I think we probably. Well, I don't know if we beat Chelsea yesterday, but it's back on, innit? I was hopeful. I thought they might do something, but it weren't looking too good. But obviously, by the final whistle, Rodri. You know what? I'm actually here for his celebration. To be fair, man, knee slide shirt off in the home end. That's fuckeries to that. That's fuckeries to the very highest level. Like
I could have been 2 yellows, bro. It goes into the crowd.
Man's inciting riots and that. Like I love that. I really love that. That's obviously the best Arsenal City celebration. Yeah. Man said, "Yo, this is for you, Dad. That's for you, Pops." I'm looking down.
Papa Emmanuel. But now I think Arsenal, yeah, they're looking good for the rest of the season. This top 4 race is looking like it's going to be a titanic battle. I think I thought the one from a couple of seasons ago, was it last year or a couple of seasons before? I thought that was probably the best one I've ever seen.
I think the season before. That's because we had the league wrapped up. So the top 4 race, it was like you, Leicester. Did you play Leicester in like the last game of the season or something?
Yeah. That was it. So that was a saucy one. I don't think Leicester are in it this year. I think it'll be Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham for that final place. But yeah, man, it's looking like it's going to be a juicy rest of the season. Or Man United going to get back into form? Is Ralph Ball going to start to rear its head? Are we going to continue to have this like sort of half and half Ollie, half Ralph Ball? Are we going to see McTominay persistent in midfield? Are we going to get a new midfielder? Are we going to get Julian Alvarez? Lots of questions that still need to be answered. And they will be answered very shortly. If you're joining us on Wednesday, you will be greeted by a January transfer special, where me and Ishmael will be. I mean, Ishmael's not got as long a list as I probably do, but
you wanted to get some guests for that to pump out the show because I ain't got too much to say, to be fair.
But yeah, man, it's been Monday night, innit? It's been Monday night Wonderball.
I'm just glad you upstaged me again with the dead result. Like I was coming in to really to spit feathers, but that United game going on just before, that's taking the heat off a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. But yes, people, thank you again for joining us for Monday Night Wonderball. Like I said, we'll be back on Wednesday for our January transfer window special. But until then, make sure you're staying subscribed, liking all that shit, and staying safe, more importantly. But enjoy your New Year's. It's been Weird and Wonderball, first show of 2022. And yeah, man, you know what it is. And you know how we wrap up these shows.